Surprise, motherfucker. Spectre. So Spectre is the 24th James Bond film in the James Bond franchise. It is the 4th film with Daniel Craig as James Bond, and it's probably going to be his last time playing James Bond. I gotta say, for me, I really enjoyed the hell out of Spectre. Now, the thing that I noticed a lot of people are doing in the reviews is that they're comparing Spectre to Skyfall and saying, oh, because Spectre is not better than Skyfall, or it's not as good as Skyfall, then the film, they just automatically give it a negative review, which I find dumb because even if the film is not as good as the other one, just look at it on its own. Because to me, is Skyfall better? Yeah, Skyfall is better, but that doesn't mean Spectre is a bad film. It's still a really enjoyable film. So let's talk about the positives of Spectre, and there's a ton of positives for it. For one, Daniel Craig, as always, kicks ass as James Bond. Daniel Craig really delivers on his portrayal as James Bond, and I felt this time around he really encompassed the true old classic James Bond personality. You know, this time he's more of like, you know what, I don't really care, you know, I'm just gonna mess with some girls, and he was more badass in this movie. And to me, I feel that Daniel Craig is the best James Bond. Sure, people might have some different opinions. For me, my opinion, I think Daniel Craig is the best one. Because why? Because he looks like he could, you know, have the suave of a James Bond. You know, he could pull the ladies, but also too, he looks like he can kick ass. And in this movie, he kicks ass. And the acting all around in Spectre was great, especially the Bond girls, you know, Monica Bellucci and Léa Seydoux. I know I mispronounced her name, but she really did a great job in this film. I felt she was one of the standouts of Spectre because she just kicked ass. And Dave Bautista is in the movie as the big muscle villain. I felt that he did a good job with his character. You know, there were times I was like, damn, but he's menacing. Well, we gotta talk about the Bond villain, man. We gotta talk about Christoph Waltz as the Bond villain. And you know Christoph Waltz, as always, is awesome. And in this movie, he kills it. Even though his character was underutilized, I felt that his performance as the character was well done. The way he spoke and the way he moved his body, he was creepy. You know, right when he spoke, I was like, man, I hate to be in a room with that guy because he's just so damn creepy. And like with these new Daniel Craig James Bond films, the action in this movie is really well done. The fight choreography was really well done. And in this time around, the action scenes felt more like the old classic James Bond films. And what I mean by that is that in the old James Bond films, the action scenes were more over the top. And the thing that I noticed about this film is that it almost feels like a love letter to the old James Bond films. The directing and the score of the movie was great, and the cinematography was really well done. Especially when you watch the opening of this movie, the opening alone is so well done. It sets up the movie so well. And while you can see that they may have made some cuts, in the opening of the movie, it's set up to be like this long one-take shot, and it was really well done. And the cinematographer this time is not Roger Deakins, who did Skyfall. This time is this guy. I'm just gonna put his name because I don't want to butcher his name. He did a fantastic job. He was a nice follow-up to Roger Deakins. But also, too, we gotta talk about the negatives of Spectre. And like how I said earlier, one of the negatives was the villain. Christoph Waltz, while he gave a great performance, his character was so underutilized. When you watch the trailers and when you watch the film, the way it sets up Christoph Waltz's character, you're like, whoa, it's gonna be a big threat to James Bond. I don't know how James Bond's gonna make it out of this. And when it gets to Christoph Waltz, nothing really happens. It's just like, oh, he's just another villain. I kind of felt the same way for Javier Bardem in Skyfall. They set up his character really good, and then kind of, you know, it feels away at the end. And like how I said, this film felt like a love letter to the old Bond films, so the action scenes were more over the top. I kind of had a problem with that. Why? Because in the Daniel Craig films, they have been setting it up so much that, look, this is going to be a more realistic take on James Bond. So when this film automatically just switches around, becomes like the old Bond film, starts going more over the top, it's like, oh, wait a second. Look, I had fun with the actions, don't get me wrong, they were really well done, but it just kind of throws you off a bit. The story was good, but it wasn't as engaging as some of the other ones. But on its own, it's still good. And since the action scenes were more over the top, there wasn't that suspense that you had with some of the other films with Daniel Craig, where you're like, oh man, like even though you know he's going to make it out of you, like you still felt the suspense. In this film, you really don't feel that much suspense. Overall, Spectre was a fun, enjoyable James Bond film. Daniel Craig, if this is his last time playing James Bond, he's done us a great service. He's been a great James Bond. It's going to be sad to see him go, but it's also going to be cool to see a new person take up the mantle of James Bond. The action scenes in the movie were great. The cinematography, the score were all well done, in the acting as well. While Christoph Waltz, villain wasn't used to his full potential. It was a very disappointing villain, and some of the action scenes felt too over the top for me personally. It wasn't that big of an issue. Overall, Spectre is just so much fun. It is definitely a film that you have to see in theaters. So I'm going to give Spectre a solid B. If you're a James Bond fan, you're obviously going to see this film. But if you have not seen any of the Daniel Craig James Bond films, check out this film because I highly recommend it because it's pretty damn fun. So guys, that's my review for Spectre. What did you guys think of the film? Did you guys like it or did you find it disappointing? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching my video, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, have a nice day.